everybody. Alex from Heavy New York. Once again, we are not too far from the previous interview we just did, which is While She Sleeps. We traveled a long way to get here, but we are with Fit for an Autopsy. I'm here with Patrick Sheridan. Thank you so much.
Hello. How you doing, guys?
It's great to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, the last time we saw you here in New York, you were doing a kick-ass tour at Knitting Factory with Moontooth.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah,
Those
shout out.
Moontooth guys are fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I love Nick Lee. If you're watching this, I love you.
You were on the podcast. I love you too.
He's beautiful.
Yeah, but you just released The Great Collapse, and it's the newest addition to the Fit for an Autopsy family. Record is fucking brutal. How is it, the record cycle and the recording been?
Well, I mean, recording was crazy as usual, but things are great. A lot of people are picking it up. We've had nothing but positive feedback, and things are going really well. I'm going to embarrass somebody right now. If you take a look, take that camera. She's there. She's running. She's running away. Yeah. Don't you tease me.
Yo, where the hell are you going?
Yeah, we see you. That's our drummer Hosian's lady, and she's fantastic. But yeah, it's been great. I have zero complaints about the response because people have been really positive. A lot of good vibes. A lot of people that we didn't expect to paying attention. I mean, we're on tour with fucking Trivium, Arch Enemy. Like, that's huge. Like, we never expected to be playing the PlayStation Theater in New York City. Sold out show. Like, it's very, very good, and we're real happy.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here.
Yeah.
Now, like, with this particular tour, I was telling this with While She Sleeps, but, like, it's a very diverse lineup. You know, Arch Enemy being melodic. Yo. Arch Enemy being melodic, you know, death metal. Trivium being on the more metalcore, thrashy side, and While She Sleeps. And then you guys, which I would say you guys are, like, the heavier band on the bill. Yeah. And, you know, I could picture you on a tour with, like, Whitechapel and Cannibal Corpse. But, like, how...
You got to stop pigeonholing my band. You're doing the thing. He's doing the thing. See, listen, I believe that all forms of metal and all forms of aggressive music can go together if you package it properly. The idea of saying, oh, well, your band sounds this way or that way, you should only play with these bands, actually limits bands more than even the style of music they play. The whole genre, sub-genre kind of thing has destroyed tours. Because back in the day, it used to be, you know, you would go see Slayer and Hatebreed touring together, or you would go see, you know, a bunch of different styles of music touring together, and it would always work out really well, especially in a place like New York City.
Of course.
Because people love diversity here. So the idea of saying, oh, well, you know, you should tour with this band or that band, that almost limits the scene, and it cuts back on the ability for bands to tour together. I mean, yes, Trivium and Arch Enemy are very different. We stand out because we're very heavy, but we also have melodic parts. We explore that world. And I think Whitechapel has done more of that because they're growing. You know, bands like Die Hard is Murder got
Suicide
heavier.
Silence.
Suicide Silence. Everybody's kind of doing a new thing, trying to get different things out of their system that they need to musically. So stifling a band and setting it up to say, hey, you got to tour with bands like this, like, that can literally ruin a band's career.
Yeah, I mean, look at Disturbed. Their first tour, I think, was with Danzig, 6 Feet Under, and Hatebreed.
Sure.
So
and tours like Sounds of the Underground, when it was all these different hardcore bands and metal bands and all these different bands touring together, now you can't get a room full of people unless you have 5 bands that sound the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that hurts bands. So I say promoters, booking agents, and fans allow mixed bills to happen, mixed genre bills. You know, like bands like the Deftones are taking bands like Code Orange out on tour. I mean, my friend's band, Great American Ghost, who is an excellent band, just played a show with Gojira. Like,
really?
That's monstrous. Things like that need to happen more.
Definitely.
So we need to be pushing for that as fans and as bands.
Yeah, of course.
Know?
But one thing I was, like, curious about with this tour, I mean, you know, you also did a tour with The Mirror and After the Burial earlier this year.
We did.
And but is there, like, maybe, like, have you noticed a different type of crowd in this specific tour as opposed to that one?
Yeah, I mean, this is a much more metal crowd, you know, and when I say more metal, I mean, like, a lot more people listen to a more traditional style of metal. And it's one of those things where I feel like real, true metalheads are people who like all kinds of metal. You know, they listen to Sepultura and Amon Amarth and Arch Enemy and Trivium, and and Slayer and Hatebreed, and then you'd start delving into subgenres, and they're not afraid to explore that stuff. So I feel like a tour like this is great for us.
Yeah.
And we are a standout band on this tour because we're extremely aggressive.
Definitely.
And, Arch Enemy is also aggressive, but more melodic. And, it's like you said, Trivium is more towards the metalcore kind of thing, but still very aggressive. And While She Sleeps, much more melodic than everybody else on the bill, but still aggressive and still heavy and still beautiful. Beautiful. They're beautiful. And from the UK, which is one of my favorite places. So it's a great tour, and I think, again, more people should be doing this kind of thing.
Definitely. Now, one thing I was curious about is a lot of you guys are looked at as almost hometown heroes, coming from Long Island, New Jersey area.
Sure.
I almost consider a sixth and seventh borough of New York.
No. Jersey's its own entity. Stop trying to steal our flavor.
Okay, I will. What is your take? Because with Heavy New York, we discuss that a lot. When you come through New York City, do you is there what's your take on the East Coast area scene?
I mean, I kind of grew up in the punk and hardcore scene in New York.
Sick
I was
of it all?
a bridge and tunnel kid. I used to come here every weekend for shows since the time I was 13. My brother Kevin used to take me to hardcore and thrash shows in the mid 80s. I'm a little older. So I have a special place for New York. Madball and all the Marauder and all these crazy hardcore bands that came out, and metal bands like Leeway, and then bands like Suffocation and Pyrexia, which is from Long Island, and all those bands. I've been listening to that stuff my whole life, so it's home away from home.
Definitely.
And I mean, New Jersey's got its own thing going on too. Human Remains is, in my opinion, one of the most important weird death metal bands that ever existed, and they're from right in my home area. So I think the Northeast especially has a lot of cool stuff going on. And New York, I love playing here. I do. I love whether it would be some tiny small venue or playing this giant place for the first time. It always feels comfortable. New Yorkers are, when they love you, they love you. When they hate you, you fucking know that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We don't mess around here. Well, I want to truly thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, you guys absolutely killed it.
Thank you.
Everybody, Patrick Sheridan from Fit for an Autopsy.
Support your local scenes and aggressive music. It's important.
We just talked about a good 20 of them, so look them up as soon as you...
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Yep. But also pick up their new record, The Great Collapse.
And pick up our old record, too. Why not? Pick that one up, too.
Yeah, the old record.
Pick
the
'em
old
up.
record.
Pick them up.
The old record. And, with, Derek running around here, it's going to look like we did a metal version of Cloverfield. But
I'm okay with that.
But,
I mean, he's a little crazy. He's a little shot, that guy.
But we love him anyway.
Yeah, he's all right.
All right. And catch Fit for an Autopsy on their tour with Trivium, Arch Enemy, and While She Sleeps. You do not want to miss them. Alex from Heavy New York, everybody. We'll see you next time.